Hello everyone and welcome back to another tutorial. In the previous tutorial, we went ahead and enabled attachments in Dataverse or Dynamics, and then we went ahead and added it to our forms. In the forms, what I did previously, I had added one attachment such as food order. I have added two more attachments. One is related, one is of PDF and one is of docx type. Both the attachments have got type. Now what I want to do, the end goal is that I want to go ahead and retrieve the titles of the attachments. But let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's only retrieve the attachments related to PDFs. We can do that using the web API. We'll talk about it in great details in a bit. But before that, let's take a deep dive into the world of Dataverse and look at the notes and the attachments. So as I told you, I'm going to use the Fetch Builder, which is a tool by XrmToolBox. Again, a big shout out to the author, Jonas Rapp, right? So what I have done to save up some time, downloaded it, and I'm going to double click on the exe. What I want to do is that I want to connect my Dynamics or Dataverse environment. So here I'm going to click on new. I'm going to click on Microsoft Login Control. I'm going to say open Microsoft Login Control, and this is Office 365. So I'll click on Office 365. I'll say show advanced options. Now you can select the online region. I know my region, but if you don't know it, you can just say you don't know. Let me also set it to don't know so that you get to see what really happens out here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put in my username and I'm going to put in my password, right? I'm going to log in and I'm going ahead and clicking on the default Dataverse environment. It's validating against it, and I'll just give this a name saying that CRM default. Perfect, right? So I can click on OK. It's trying to retrieve the environment, which is good. And now let me click on the Fetch XML builder. I'll click on the default. I should have named it properly. I named it CRN instead of CRM, but just ignore it. And what it's trying to do is trying to retrieve the environment. Now it has retrieved the environment, and when I click on the entity out here, I should see the entities, right? So let me just quickly check. Okay, so the entities are out here. So the entity that I'm looking for is the event entity, right? Because I've created an entity and the form is of type event entity. So I can just type in event. Okay, it does not appear. Why does it not appear? Because I need to use the logical name. So what I can try to do is I can say clav event maybe. Okay, so I think I have a mistake out here. Let me go back and let me check my environment. Okay, this isn't the default environment. So that was not correct. Be careful about it, right? So I did the mistake, but yeah, you be careful. So I'll again click on the credentials. I'll log in again. I'll click on the same prompt. Just quickly do it. This time I'll select the correct one. That is the CRM one. Say CRM not. I'll say finish. Say OK. Okay, so now it has been updated, and let me try to find. And here, my friends, I find the clav event, right? When I click on execute, I can go into this clav event entity. And here you see that it has a single entity, right? It has a single entity. Where do I go ahead and find my attachments and notes? It's not here. It's not in my clav event entity. Okay, so here, my friends, this is what is very important. The annotations and notes were previously, the notes and attachments were previously known as annotations, right? So you need to access the annotations entity. So if I go and try to select the annotations entity, right? And if I click on execute, this actually returns my annotations, right? This is very important. And this also goes ahead and tells me the file that I have uploaded. and where it is associated. So I need to make sure that it's associated to this particular object type code, that is clav event, which is my table or my entity. Now that I have the entities, as I told you, to make it interesting, what we can do is that we can filter out only the PDF entities, right? Let's say that I want to only filter out chicken and I don't understand. How can I do that? To do that, what I can do is I can go ahead and add a filter by clicking here. So filter, and then I can provide it conditions. So what is the first condition that I want to provide? Entity, that's fine. Attribute. Attribute, something, I can go ahead and select something unique. So when I go and look at this, I think this GUID is actually unique, as well as this GUID. No, the owner business unit is not, it's not, it's not unique. So I need to select object ID. So what I can do is that I can select the object ID, which is unique, and then I can select an operator. Let's say the object ID equals to some value, right? So I need to select this value first, is equal to this value. Now, if I execute this query, it only gets me the objects which are specific to the event type. But here is something really magical. You have another tab which tells you Fetch XML. And this XML will work magic. Now that we have gone ahead and filtered only the annotations or only the nodes specific to a particular object type or our entity, that is clav event, let's further drill down and let's try to check how we can retrieve the PDF files. So to do that, what I can do is I can use another condition. And I'm adding a filter type and I'm trying to add a filter type and then let's go ahead and add a condition. The condition should be such that I only get PDF files. So how can I get PDF files? I think it's much easier to go ahead and just say the MIME type, right? So the entity is fine. The attribute that I'm going to select is MIME type. If it goes ahead and helps me do that, right? MIME type, and I'll select the operator equals to, and what's the MIME type? It's application PDF, right? So let me quickly add that out here. Value. Now, if I execute it, I only get the PDFs. And here, my friends, I have the XML or the fetch query ready. In the next tutorial, we are going to go ahead and create a PCF component, leverage the fetch XML query that we created, and retrieve the records and display it. I hope this quick tutorial about XrmToolBox as well as Fetch XML was informative. Thank you for your time. Have a great day and bye-bye.